Hello there, Glitch Reaper here. Yeah, I'm back for another vlog, and this is for several reasons. A few things been kind of building up. One of which is actually, this thing building up probably better later. But anyhow, okay. The first news is that I have had another incident with the D&D Crusader mod pack with something causing some uh, issues with my player data. It's not a complete loss, so don't worry about it too much in that respect, but do know there will be a delay for a while because I need to redo almost all of my Thaumcraft research. Yeah, that takes a while. So I'll be catching myself back up on that for a while. It took me a while in the first place, and it's going to be kind of ridiculous getting that all back. So, yeah, that happened. I'm still not entirely sure what all happened or why, but I do know that there was, well, long story short, there was like a power glitch or something, and my computer reset on me in the middle of a playing. I was just doing some off-camera work when it just totally decided to go for a random reset, and that corrupted part of the file, so I had to use a backup. And that somehow meant that I lost some of my player data. Again, not all of it, oddly enough. Believe it or not, my inventory was mostly intact, I should say, although there are a few things I'm definitely going to have to get back, so yeah. But again, not a complete loss, and a lot of things were still technically okay, although this does actually lead to an interesting opportunity, because I kind of noted an interesting bug with that version of Mind Fantasy 2. The thing is that apparently if you have maxed out skills, you can't actually learn anything new. And because there was updates to it, that means that anybody that had maxed out completely wouldn't be able to gain further skills that were added later, like further research and things. So it kind of meant you were stuck. So in a way, that partially errs in my favor. I can get that back and more now. So that's actually kind of weird mixed news on its own. So that was weird. In fact, I'm still trying to figure out what all it affects, like how much was really corrupted or not, because it doesn't seem to have affected all my player data equally. So again, kind of weird. So I'm still going to try to figure that out over time. So this may lead to more of another series or two for a while. Like maybe I'll be doing more of my Magic and Mythos series, maybe a big run of it for a while I'm still just catching up behind the scenes in D&D Crusader. Another thing about that is because the delay like how long that's going to take, I might actually be doing another series involving Thaumcraft before that gets back to where it should be. Kind of an interesting thought, and for that matter, it may actually involve Thaumcraft 6. I've tried adding that in to Magic and Mythos, but again, for some weird reason, it seems to repel it. Like, it doesn't want to be compatible with it. I don't know what it is. So, I mean, some other things I have it in are fine, and I'm still trying to figure out what went wrong. I could try again now that there's been updates. It could have been an instability on the part that it's been in serious beta, so I could try acting in a way where I could try to add it in retroactively. There are ways of actually claiming enough extra land afterwards for things to be fine. I mean, there are ways of getting around these days that are really fun and fast. In fact, I've got one in my inventory. It's the Electra. So, yeah, I'd like to I'd just fly around and say, hey, look, new land I don't recognize, and then I'd be able to get the stuff I need to start. So, therefore, I can do it retroactively. It just wouldn't necessarily be the best approach. But it would still be one that I could actually do. So, assuming that it decides to work with Magic and Mythos after all this time, I may give that another shot and just plant it in directly. There are some other things that might be coming up, including, I may have teased this out in the comments before, there may be some server play coming up that involves Thaumcraft 6, and there's more than one possibility for that upcoming, so No certainty as to exactly what it is yet, but there's a good possibility it'll be a streamlined version of my mod pack Thaumic Resurgence. Because I have heard that even though a lot of people are good with it in single player, it may not necessarily be perfectly optimized for servers. Now, I haven't had any complaints about that specifically yet, but I have had a friend or two voice their concerns that maybe it could be trimmed down for optimal playage. So, yeah, so that is definitely something that I will be going over. So, yeah, again, I'm not certain of exactly what form it's going to take, but in all likelihood, that will probably come back before D&D Crusader. I'm not putting that on absolute either. I'm just saying that's in all likelihood. Now, in other news, there's something I've been kind of building up on that's a bit more serious. It's not exactly the kind of thing you'd think about immediately either. It's kind of weird. Just discussing this as somebody who puts out videos on YouTube. But I kind of have a stockpile of an enormous proportion of my original completed movies for whenever I made them into episodes and everything. So the thing is, that takes up a lot of space, and I'm running out of the ability to find ways of holding on to them. So that's actually a bit of a concern, especially when there is instability out there for things, and this is when I really got to ask an interesting opinion. The thing is, I know I am in fact watched by some other YouTubers, modders, etc., and including some people that have put out a decent number of videos themselves. And so this is more to my fellow YouTubers that I'm asking this. How confident are you? Oh, one of them is mimicking a hostile mob. That happens. It was interesting interruptions, parrots. I mean, it's still entertaining. Anyhow, how confident are you of basically having the only copies of your footage online? Like, if I were to have to prioritize what I have on my computer in terms of footage, like only keeping a few key things I really liked, then would that... I mean, would you be confident enough to do that? Because I'm running out of the ability to hold on, whether my computer or alternate storage. And at the same time, I mean, you probably have noted how many videos I already have out, so you can imagine how much that really is. But the thing is, once it's out onto YouTube, it's on their servers. However, there has been a few debates recently about whether or not YouTube itself is sustainable and will be able to continue on as it is. So therefore, there's the problem of what happens if YouTube itself is no longer there. Like, would you even have an opportunity to, re-upload from YouTube directly to another site? Or would it just be all, bye everybody, YouTube's out of business suddenly, like this day, and you're like, what? So, I mean, it could happen. I mean, I'm not being super negative here. I'm just saying what I've heard, and it doesn't necessarily sound encouraging for people who have videos on YouTube like me. It's something I really enjoy doing, and I like the whole YouTube scene, the community, and a lot of other things about it. So I'm worried personally about this as a possibility. Now, there's other people saying that they will find a way, that they will change if they have to, that Google will come to their senses about one thing or another and say, okay, even if we're running this at a loss, we make enough money to not have to care. So, therefore, just doing YouTube as a service to the world would be a good thing, and they may just decide to maintain it forever. So that's also on the positive note, that YouTube could last pretty much forever. And that would also bring back up the confidence level of having your only copies of your videos on YouTube itself. So, again, this is more out to my fellow YouTubers out there that actually watch me. That I'm wondering, would you be willing to do that? Would you be willing to just leave your only copies of your videos on YouTube itself? Or do you already? Are you already somebody who deletes whatever you've done after it's fully uploaded and you can confirm, okay, it looks good here, so I don't have to worry about it anymore? Like, are you one of those people that just... it goes with the flow in terms of your videos? Like, okay, I've already done this, so goodbye footage. Poof! So I'm wondering how many people do that. Is that a thing? There's certain things about myself that means I don't necessarily think like normal people, so this is an honest question. I don't know how people think about this issue, so I really want feedback, please. Seriously. This is one time I'm certainly saying please comment in the comment section below, because I would like to know what your thoughts on this issue are, because it's very important to me. Just knowing, like, how normally is this to hold on to this much footage? It's just literally the exact opposite of what everybody else does. Now, I'm not saying I have absolutely everything stored on my computer itself. Again, I was saying also alternate storage too, like, external hard drives and all that jazz, but still, the fact is, I have been holding on to all that footage this whole time, except a few tiny things that didn't really matter, like, say, things I know were just kind of spur of the moment, like, oddly enough, my vlogs. A lot of them are already pretty much just only copies are on YouTube, because they were kind of spur of the moment things that aren't exactly me having to look over my footage and saying, I did that in that episode, or I have done that mod before, or I have done that in Minecraft before in general, or hey, I can certainly say that I actually said that, you're right. Like, could I go over the footage? Do I need to go over the footage? So with me, vlogs are one of those few things I can say, if the footage is gone, it's gone. It's not something that I need to really review for myself, So I think it's kind of the urge to just kind of hoard information in a way for me. I mean, sure, I'm sharing it with others, but at the same time, I'm also creating my own stockpile, which is kind of a way of hoarding. So, I mean, am I literally a hoarder when it comes to videos? Do I have a problem? I don't know how normal these things are or not normal. Again, I'm seriously asking, so please. So, meanwhile, I think it's finally time to say that I could go on with the show, but please ponder that. Please tell me your opinions, your ways of doing things when it comes to videos, and things like that. And again, remember that due to technical difficulties beyond my control, that D&D Crusader will be on hiatus for a while in terms of actual videos being put out on YouTube. In terms of me actually playing it, I'll probably be doing that a lot in the background to get myself caught back up. So, yeah, I need to recover some lost ground. So, between those two things, that's kind of my major thoughts right here. So, yeah. So, again, please, comment what you think about that whole thing about videos in general, because I'm super curious, and I kind of really need to know. So, for now, this has been Glitch Reaper, and I'll be signing off. And for the happier note, as usual, it is time for the parrot party. So, hope to hear from you all later, and bye for now, everybody. And remember, join the parrot party.